Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit View Time. Today we've got ICM's latest release. We've got the 132nd Stearman. Now, as you might know, I am a little bit of a fanboy about their kits, or certainly their recent kits, and had an absolute blast building them over the last few months. I've done quite a few of theirs now, and to be honest with you, the last one I did was the Gladiator. And the Gladiator was an absolute dream from start to finish. It had no fit issues, it went together really well. I was very impressed with my paint job on that one, and the weathering went down really well, and we did some rigging on it, so forth and so on. And at the time, I actually said, wouldn't it be lovely to have the Stearman, because obviously the Stearman is such an iconic aircraft. You know, not only as a fantastic trainer, but even as an aircraft today, to see it flying, the sound of it and everything else like that, it's one of those aircraft that just grabs you. And again, in these colours, it's an absolute must, isn't it? Anyway, lo and behold, it's now arrived and they've actually done it. So I'm very, very excited to actually get my hands on this, to review it and probably to build it as well. Anyway, as you can see, running around on the box, it's a beautiful box art. It doesn't need a lot to sell, this aircraft, does it perfectly, but again, in those markings, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Running around on the box, obviously got a little bit about it, about the history of actually the actual aircraft and things like that. Obviously beginning its life in the 1930s. Kit number for this one is 32050. Okay, and then around on here you can see the marking options. As you can see, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And in, right, that new, I haven't even undone the seals on this yet, and again, totally sealed. So it'd be the usual box within a box, which isn't a bad thing, quite like it. There's always one that just won't go. Come on, cut. I'm going to slice it in two. Okay, so in the box we have here, if I can get it out without wrecking the box, that can stand just there. We have the flap, and then in here we have it. Again, a little bit like the Gladiator. When you unboxed it, it was like, is that it? There's not a lot in here. But actually, as I said, the simplicity of the way it goes together makes for a very, very enjoyable build. Because again, you can be a little bit overcomplicated. You can see not tons of bits in there. We see some very nice stuff. We've got a little bit for the aftermarket bits and pieces, which is quite nice. Can't put a dog on anything, you have me in tears. Okay, we've got the decals looking very nice, and obviously we've got the instructions. Okay, so as always, we'll start just down in here in the instructions and just change that over. There we go. So, parts layout, as I said, there's not tons to it. Really, you've just got the 4 sprues and your clear parts, okay? But again, it's a simple aircraft, so why overcomplicate the build? That's what I've always said with these. So, right the way through, we have got some very nice internal framework. Obviously, it is a fabric aircraft, so you've got the framework, so you'll be able to see that from the inside. So we've got all the parts, the control surfaces, things like that, being fitted down in here. Sorry, control columns. The seats being fitted into this very simple cockpit, and then a little bit on the painting of down in here, okay? And then obviously we've got the tail wheel, and then sandwiching the two halves together right off the bat. So a nice, straightforward, quick start, okay? We've got the floor system being put in there as well, so that's going in. And then this giant open area means we can slide the actual framework, the cockpit area, straight in. Okay, so that's very nice indeed. Then we've got the top half of it, so we've actually got a couple of the little bulkheads with the instrument panels being fitted in here as well. Okay, that section is going on the top, and then we've got the front end part going into that one as well, which really completes that off. A little bit of the cowling type things going down in here, and then we've got the engine mount being fitted on the front. Again, nice and straightforward. We've got the gear system. Okay, that looks very straightforward. A little bit different to actually how the Gladiator went together. The Gladiator had a very nice touch where you could actually have the suspension travel. And what this meant was you could balance it up if it wasn't quite straight. Okay, but anyway, that's down in there as well. And then these are being fitted down and in, as you can see, onto these, and then the covers. And actually it does do it, so you can have the travel. So by this, if you wanted the situation for some reason it's leaning, you can just pull a leg down and straighten it up. It's a great little tip for getting you out of a bit of a problem, I'd say. Okay, tailplanes being fitted, obviously put together. They are going to be posable by the looks of it, so that's quite nice, so you can have them droop down if you wanted to, and then fitted in. Rudder system being put on there, Okay, so that one's going in, and then we're working on the wings. So as I say, top and lower wing systems being put on. So we've got the lower wing system going in here. Again, got the control surfaces being fitted down underneath. Clear parts if you wanted to put them now, obviously. And we've got the little snorkel. Okay, and then obviously a couple of little bits down here on the back as well for some of the actual grab handles. And then top wing system going down in here as well. We've got the lights being fitted on there as well, and then the bracings and various parts going through. Okay, very straightforward. And then obviously the top wing fitted down in there. Then we've actually got the mounts and the various parts being fitted down in here on the actual engine system going in, and then the actual engine being fitted into that one as it makes its way through. Okay, and then straightforward job of getting all of that in. And then we've got the front end. So there you go, you've got the actual engine itself with the pots and everything being fitted down into this one, and then fitted on. Two types of props, so obviously make your decision a little bit later on. Okay, but that basically completes it. And then again, just like they did for the Gladiator, which is a nice touch, a very simplistic diagram to show you how the actual rigging goes and where it goes. Okay, so that's actually very nice indeed. Beautiful little touch over here. I said it on a different one we were doing very, very recently about how would it be great if modern kits all came with a template mask. Okay, so we're not looking for the mask set, just print it out for us so we can actually put our tape over the top, photocopy it, whatever you want to do, and then cut them to that and then stick them on. It's a great way, and we've got a little diagram to put it down there. So well done, ICM. I know you weren't listening to me because you've done this before, probably you had a chance, but again, you're a fantastic manufacturer for giving the modeler that opportunity. Couple of colours down in here, as I say, we've got that absolutely fantastic one down here with the blue and yellow. Okay, or we've got one down in here in, I don't know if that's silver or if it's in the grey. Not too sure on that one. So again, it's one of these where it's a case of you could probably go along with the actual grey colour on that one right the way over. But let's face it, if you're like me, you just love this. This is where you go. Forget that. You're going to do it something nice and colourful, something to stand out. Or third option, which I wasn't even aware of this option, is a beautiful one. So there you go. You've got a mix of the both. If you wanted to do with the grey or with the yellow, that is very striking as well. So actually, although I love the blue, that actually might be my go-to one because that's very, very nice indeed. So we do like that. So off the bat, like we said before, just like the Gladiator, to be honest, it's not an overcomplicated build. Technically biplanes and with rigging and, you know, basically trying to get the geometry all right, as in the wings ought to be better. You got enough on your plate doing that, let alone having a really complicated build. So it's actually very straightforward, very simple. So that should be good. Next up, we've got the decals. And to be honest with you, they look very nice. Said these before, good solid colours, exactly the same as you had before, and as you can see them on here. They look very, very nice indeed, so no problem with those. Okay, so good job on that. Right, into the plastic. So, we've got a seat running loose in the bag. Got our clear parts. Okay, so let's just pop that over there for the moment. So right off the bat, we've got a situation on the very nice. I'm just looking. Actually, it's not a situation. It is fine. I thought we had a little bit of, you know, different lumps and bumps down in here, but I don't think we do. But anyway, as you can see, it's just the actual webbing colours. Again, ICM, they do this fantastic job of the finish on these. It's not flat, it's more like a satin effect to it, but what's great is that primers and paints and that just love adhering to this. So again, very, very nice job on this right the way through. So again, you've got all this gorgeous stuff, which obviously you can dry brush this to bring it alive. Okay, and on the other side, that looks all very, very nice. On the inside, again, fantastic. We don't have any ejector pins running down in there, which are going to spoil our view or anything else. They are literally up here and down the back and stuff like that. So right off the back to do the actual framing on the inside. And that sort of woodwork down in there, no problems whatsoever. So fuselage, good. Okay, as we've got this just here, we might as well have a look at it. So this is the engine, some bits around the cowl and stuff. And again, look at the pot detail, beautifully done. Very, very nice on those. And we've got the exhausts and the injectors and everything else. That actually all looks very nice. This sort of firewall here looks great as well. Very, very nice. Good job. Absolutely gorgeous. We like that. We like that a lot. Okay, so all of the sprues here. Let's move that one out of the way. That one out of the way. Okay, so big old sprue with the wings on. Very nice indeed. If we move straight around to the close-up, we can see gorgeous surface detail, recessed and raised details, as is the real thing on those wings. Very nice indeed. We've got a little bit of burring, but hardly, to be honest, I'm being picky now because it isn't that bad. A small, tiny bit of burring on the actual framework down in here. But again, the seats, we've got that instrument panel just in here. We've got the floor looking good, and all these areas. And then the next part of the wing there. And a good job for that lower wing. We've got obviously the throttles over here and some of the internals. We've got the gear. And again, we've got one of the props, another instrument panel, and the other wing. And again, beautifully done, very nice. Fantastic thin edge on here. Again, one of those, use a slower set glue on that just to make sure those are together. But again, very, very nice indeed. That's really nicely done. Okay, so over here we've got the top wing, and we've got another seat flying around. Okay, that looks all very nice. And again, we've got the tyre, the wheel just looks great. That top wing, fantastic job. Again, all the details you want. Top part of the cabin, again, you've got that raised detail in with the recessed as well. Beautifully done, very sharp details. Tail planes, and again, we've got the actual control surfaces with the ailerons and the rudder. And then we've got the underside of that top wing, looking good, all the details you want and expect. Again, really very, very difficult to pull these kits apart and to criticise them or give them any grief because they all look absolutely fantastic. Simplicity. We've got a couple of parts down here that will come off the sprue, so this is obviously in between the gear, and again, a nice mixture. You've got raised as well as recessed details on here. Again, very, very nicely done. And the seat. The only thing obviously missing from this would be a set of harnesses. Very nice indeed. Okay, so we've got clear parts. Yeah, and you've only got a couple of windscreens and they are absolutely fantastic. Look at that, no distortion in those whatsoever. But again, they're flat, but a little bit on the sides, but generally head on, no problem. And obviously we've got the navigation lights on there as well. Beautiful. To be honest, I've been after doing a Stearman in 30-second scale for years. I'm just trying to wait for a really nice one to come along, and ICM literally have done it. And it does look exactly what I was hoping for. As I say, after doing the Gladiator, my natural progression, if I was going to do another biplane, I wanted to do this one, not knowing this kit was actually on its way. And now it came out and it had been known to release. I was just hoping it was going to be just like the Gladiator, because the Gladiator, as I said, it was fun to go together. It's not overcomplicated. And again, just when I mentioned about geometry of wings and stuff like that, the way that it works and goes in was never going to be a problem anyway. It's a good solid fit the way that this goes in there. I should imagine this one looks to be exactly the same as the Gladiator did. So again, hats off to ICM, a beautiful kit, very nicely done. And another highlight is now they've actually got the mask set technically for it, so you just mask along those, cut them around, take the tape off, cut them out, use them, and away you go. Another little tiny little thing that actually makes life so much easier for the model at the end of the day. Anyway, that is the Stearman. It is always available, don't forget, from the PM store. Links as always down below. But there we go, that's the ICM 132nd Stearman.